Our state has some incredible problems. My name is Lynn Hinderaker. I'm here to talk about that with you and talk about the trends that have shaped this state and dragged us in one direction or another. We're not really we're not realizing the dream we had way back in the early 2000s or even around 2008 or 9 or 10. My name is Lynn Hinderaker. Welcome to WowBiz Nebraska. We're going to get it on right now. 1, 2, 3. Remember that old song from the 60s and 70s? It kind of showcases the number 3. I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about the power of 3 in a business context, particularly interested in innovation or relationships with your employees and so on. 3 is a cool number. We're going to get to that throughout the entire first half of the show. My name is Lynn Hinderaker. This is WowBiz Nebraska. My buddy Bruce Aaron's not here today, but he'll be back the next time we tape the show, so don't miss it then. But we've got an exciting show today. We're going to talk about some very interesting topics, and a lot of them are going to rotate around the number 3. Before I go down that road, however, I want to mention something to you that I know is very pertinent, it's timely today, and that is dealing with this whole remote employee learning, bringing them into the office, all the angst that goes on with that. And of course, the HR department is struggling with who do we hire or fire, how do we handle this entire confusing situation. I want to point out to you a book that actually was published in 2009, believe it or not, over 10 years ago, but it was written by the wonderful Dan Pink. He's a brilliant man, and he's been published in Fast Company magazine and elsewhere. He talks in here about the 2 kinds of employees. It's a great lesson to try to get into your head. Before you move forward, you need to know who you're trying to attract and how to deal with the 2 very different types of employees. The core motivations, you've got a very interesting choice there. So keep this in mind. From Dan Pink, it's called Drive by Dan Pink. Try to look it up and check it out if you can. It'll save you a lot of angst as you go through revitalizing your employee culture. Now, back to number 3. You know, one of the things that I encounter a lot out there when I'm talking to business owners is they say, Lynn, what do you think I have to do to kind of get things going again? We're trying to regain momentum. It seems to be really hard. People are kind of nervous and down. The buyers don't seem to be real excited about working with us, and prospecting's harder than usual. What do you think we should do, Lynn? And the answer is a threefold answer, as I implied a little bit earlier. So there are 3 words. We're going to focus on one of them in particular, but let me just go through them. And by the way, it's a chronological thing. So the first word is vision. The second word is fusion. We're going to get back to that. And the third one is passion. Interesting, by the way, that all 3 words end in I-O-N. That's a different subject about ions and so on. But we'll stick with a very straightforward process here because I want to get to fusion. But first of all, vision. Now, I know that seems like an obvious thing, but business owners really do, if they've been around a long time, they have a hard time articulating what the vision of the company is. And now is a very important time to either re-articulate it, redefine it, start all over. Ask yourself genuinely now, what is the vision what are we trying to get done together besides make some profits, bank them, go home, make payroll? There's a lot more to business than that. If you can articulate the vision and get your entire staff kind of excited about what we're capable of doing, and think about a summit. That's a great word when you're talking about vision, which is, having the boss or the management team climbing up a very, very steep incline or mountain, and they're reaching down, and pulling people up, kind of holding them and pulling them up as they strive to get up, and the person below them doing the same thing, and pulling the whole team up this mountain, insurmountable or almost insurmountable. That is the vision. That's the process, and that's the excitement, the pull together feeling that we're talking about here. That's how it has to be done. Now, it's almost like getting in a car and turning on the key, right? If the vision is right and everybody can articulate it, this is what we're striving to do. It could be really tough, but it's worth going after. We might be able to do that. That's cool. It's like turning on the car. It's like, let's go somewhere, right? And I'm going to talk about passion now, which would be the third element in my little formula here. Passion is the fuel that sustains forward movement, right? So the people are, they're enthused and that worked pretty good, and Harry did that project that worked out great. We got a new client. We're moving, we're grooving. I believe in the direction that the boss has carved out for us. I can almost see where we're going. right? So turn on the car, right? Get it going, and then obviously sustain the momentum. Don't drop the ball. Now, it's that in-between step, the fusion word that I mentioned a little bit earlier. That is what I find most interesting, and it really is the toughest. Because once the vision is carved out and people go, okay, we can do this. This is reasonable to take a shot at this. We want to introduce new products. We want to be the leader in this industry niche. We want to redefine. Maybe we're going to go towards a digital transformation, so we're going to lower costs. We get it. We get it, boss, and we're going to go in that direction. But how do you get there? This is where fusion comes in. Now, I've talked about fusion before in this show. It's a really big topic, so I'm going to try to keep it kind of narrow here, and we're going to take advantage of this bowl of hot water here that's on our news desk here this evening and kind of give you a good example. But fusion can be organizational fusion, for instance. Different organizations or departments coming together, people coming together, maybe in a nonprofit environment, maybe a seminar or a workshop, trading ideas openly. That's organizational fusion. Right? By the way, ecosystems, which we're going to talk about later on, probably would be an example of organizational fusion. As long as people are sharing, giving and getting insofar as ideas, thoughts, planning, and so on. Another way, though, that fusion becomes a really important thing is product fusion. And this is what we're going to talk about here for just a second on our desk. You know, when let's take an example. Let's think about Fitbit or some of the new cool technologies that help people motivate them to walk 10,000 steps a day. Well, you've heard of that, I'm sure, that kind of thing. And they monitor your heart, perhaps, and you're out there moving, trying to stay fit and trying to stay up and healthy. And that's a great trend that technology is kind of moving forward. So let's pretend now we're talking about product fusion, product integration. So let's say that the company that manufactures this product, and they're doing pretty well. People are buying it, and it's a little expensive, but it's helping them monitor their health and maybe calories, counting their calories that they're expending. But so here's another company over here, right? And they're watching the industry, they're watching the technology, they're watching the market trends and so on. And they're a software, they're a technology firm, all right? So they're kind of compatible, they're kind of in the same space, so to speak. And they're saying to themselves, now let's put our heads together here and think about the customer. Not only are they trying to work off some calories and so on, but they also are trying to wonder while they're doing this, what can I eat, right? What can I eat when I'm done here? Can I have a beer? Would that be against the rules after I've walked, 8 or 10,000 steps? So those kinds of questions are going through their minds, right? So you could say, well, let's go get the entire food nutrition industry together, right? Let's find a library of that kind of data, all this incredible detailed stuff about if you eat this many strawberries, it gives you that many carbohydrates, energy, blah, blah, blah. And let's find a way to integrate it, fuse it, shall we say, with the technology of this other company over here. So that when you're walking, says, well, you're at 10,000 now. You can go have a beer if you want, or you can have a piece of pie if you want. That's an average of 475 calories. But you're okay because you did 10,000 steps. Well, that would be interesting. That would actually appeal to a lot of people that are out there trying to lose some weight, but they want a little bit of a reward at the end of their exercise. So they do that. Now, another idea that's related to that is say, well, I love sweet rolls, okay? I love to eat sweet rolls as often as I can, but I've got to work them off and run around, exercise, so on and so forth. But if I get to a certain point and I've lost 2 pounds over the last few days, maybe I get a sweet roll. I got to have a vanilla cream sweet roll. But then the next question is, what about the store? Where do I go what store is nearby that would actually say, well, here you go, right? You've done your fitness, you've been disciplined all week long. Here's your favorite sweet caloric product you've got to reward yourself with. And we know that you've done 10,000 steps a day for the previous several days. So here it is. So now we've fused two kinds, and here they are. So here's the technology. Here's the piece of equipment. Maybe it's something on my arm, perhaps, or around my waist, or my smartphone, whatever it is. We'll use this to symbolize that. And it's a good product on its own, that performs well. Maybe it's $49, $59 on Amazon or whatever. But then we add this second component, as I've told you before. We approach the first company and say, you know, we have a way that you could probably enhance that product that you have. It's such a great product, but we could add some caloric and nutritional product information, be right there on their desk, say, oh, okay, I've burned off enough, I can have a piece of pie when I get home, whatever it is. And they say, well, yeah, we could probably mark that up and sell for $150. We like that idea, right? But then, all right, they say, yeah, in addition to that, we have a super premium piece of technology that would enhance and optimize your existing product. We're wondering whether you might want to get into that. And that actually has local, geographic, locational, Google Map, all that kind of stuff, where you can actually go find your favorite piece of pie after you've burned off 10,000 steps a day with your technology. We can fuse them together, bundle them together, and create. Now there's friction, right? As you're moving, and your body and your lungs, and you're sweating and you're going down up and down the neighborhood or maybe around the track or whatever you're doing, there's friction, there's resistance. Well, the friction is being symbolized right here. I've got some friction going here as I move my hands with this container, this wash rag essentially. And so now the friction is evoking the performance of the technology. The technology is working together in concert with the original piece of equipment. Now there's two more components in there, a couple of pieces of soap symbolize that, and out comes some of the soap. It's working its way through the wash rag, and this is an example of how it works, and the graphics are coming up, the metrics are coming up. Oh my gosh, I can have a piece of pie in a day if I continue working out like this the rest of the afternoon, et cetera, et cetera. So here we are. This is product fusion. Two different companies, two different parts of the world coming together in some kind of a context and optimizing and leveraging their respective technologies to create a super premium fitness product. It's an amazing thing, and it's going on everywhere. A lot of people don't really realize how common this is. Companies don't even know about are collaborating and developing brand new products, the components of which are not inside the original company. They're not really there, but they can be combined. In many cases, this is called open innovation. And this is the future that we looked at here. My awkward little metaphorical example here with this hot water. This is how two companies come together and create super differentiated, innovative products for you and for me. My name is Lynn Hinderaker. We're here on WowBiz Nebraska. That's an example of business innovation, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. We're going to do a little sponsorship thing here so that you know who is behind this show. Brand new sponsor. Got a lot of invested in this particular show, WowBiz Nebraska. And I want to say hi for 2 seconds to all of the chambers of commerce, the economic development folks across the entire state of Nebraska. They can, of course, watch the show on YouTube since they're not here in the Omaha, Nebraska area. And I just want to say hi to all of you. Send us your reports, your press releases, any of the cool stuff that's going on in the business community there in your locale, in your local area. Thanks for watching. I'm Lynn Hinderaker. We'll be right back. And by the way, Bruce Arendt will be here the next time. We'll talk to you in just a minute.
Where can you watch KPAO Community Television? You know, the channel with all of the local shows. If you live in the Omaha area, Cox Channel 22 and 1022 HD is your place. If you prefer streaming, go to kpaoTVOmaha.org. And now, if you have the Apple TV box, grab our app and watch us there. KPAO on cable, streaming live, and now on Apple TV.
Welcome back to WowBiz Nebraska. I'm Lynn Hinderaker, and you are here in the middle of a great show. It's a special show. Even though I don't have my buddy Bruce Arendt with me, he'll be back next time. You'll see WowBiz Nebraska right here. But I want to tell you before we go on to this next very important segment, we're going to talk about a brand new concept to many, many people here in the state of Nebraska and all over the country, although it's increasingly popular. But let's step back right now and tell you who the sponsor of WowBiz Nebraska really is for this particular show today. The sponsor for the show is Urban Natural Development. Urban Natural Development is you've heard us mention the word perhaps of urban naturalism before. These people have discovered how to attract young professionals to our state. All right, this is a real key idea. Workforce development is a huge idea in this state and all over the country. It's not easy to get these young professionals, knowledge workers, and so on to come or stay in Nebraska because of a variety of perceptions. But the bottom line is this. The built environment, I'm talking now about the exterior of offices, apartments, boutiques, lofts, etc., have actually an unusual, and we'll explain this briefly, have an unusual attraction to young folks, the kinds of young folks we're trying to attract to Omaha and Nebraska and throughout the entire state. And this type of construction that we're talking about is called urban natural. And of course, let's just stop for a second and realize those are two opposite words. Urban implies dynamism and metal and synthetic. And of course, the word natural implies rural, organic, serene, quiet, authentic, all that kind of thing. So you put these two words together, create a new combination word, urban natural, and you now end up describing not only 50 million young knowledge workers throughout the entire country, but you also describe very interesting architecture. Yes, that is high contrast, that is opposites, and because this group of folks, this market segment we'll call them, really are attracted to opposites. Now, I'm talking about buildings now that combine, we'll say, metal and wood. By the way, they're very important. Sustainability is a very big deal with this particular group of people. Very important. They take it very seriously. But wood, maybe 6 feet up on the side of a building, of a bar or an apartment building, whatever. And then metal, maybe tin, maybe glass. So you see organic and synthetic materials right together on the outside of the building. Very interesting. Now you see this around, by the way. It's not like brand new. But nobody has this urban natural word that I mentioned to you before. It is a trademarked word. And it's a very interesting thing that it's been proven by Nobel Prize winning scientists, research. It's a very incredible conclusion that they came to, that they found the link. These people found the link, brilliant insight, between visual imagery. It's a very broad way to say visual imagery, that's high contrast, black and white together, wood and metal together, right? Those kinds of opposites, and human emotion. And what it does, when you take a quick glance at the area where two opposite materials come together, by the way, this also applies to interiors of buildings as well, it stimulates the visual cortex inside the brain. This is for all human beings, by the way, something that we all don't know, but we kind of sense. And the visual cortex stimulates and releases dopamine, which is kind of a feel-good hormone that all human beings have. And when somebody gives you a hug and tells you they love you or whatever, there's a little bit of dopamine that comes in. It's part of who we are. It's very important to younger folks in particular. And so when they're in buildings, inside or around, and they see the contrasting materials on the outside, it's an amazing thing that they feel good vibes, new energy. And so this is an amazing breakthrough for developers, real estate developers. Imagine they're spending millions buying land around the state of Nebraska, hoping, right, that young people, different people come and rent the apartments and the tenants and offices and so on, but they don't really know. They don't really know if it's going to work. So urban natural buildings, because of the architecture and the science that I just mentioned to you, attract urban natural people. That's the fundamental concept here, and that's where developers all over the state are going, we need to take a close look at this particular concept, because not only is it about design, but it's also about marketing. We know who we want. We can buy lists. We can find them in our cities and in our counties. We can get to them with various kinds of digital advertising, very precise, and say, hey, here's an environment that you will really like, that will stimulate you, kind of a good vibes feeling. This is the development of the future. This is talent attraction, baby, right here. Urban natural development. Don't forget about it. It's not going to go away. Thanks again. Thanks again. I'm Lynn Hinderaker with WowBiz Nebraska. We want to thank the people that are in charge of urban natural development. They have a breakthrough concept, and it's so exciting to talk about it in their behalf. You're going to hear more about it. All right. You know, there are three trends that are redefining America right now, in terms of business in particular. One is automation. You see it every day as you get these emails every single day from people that want to sell you something. Automation's huge and is becoming bigger and bigger because of the remote learning, the pandemic. People are staying home, so automation brings down costs and accelerates messaging and so on. We're all aware of that. So automation's one. Number two is speedy decision making. There's no more procrastination when somebody says, hey boss, you know, I noticed this and these people are doing this right here. It just seems like we should probably go to this and find out. We used to say, give me some time. We'll give it some thought. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what's going on. We got other things going on. No more, right? So we have to be able to kind of kick it up and focus and accelerate and make decisions, learn from them quickly and move forward because the world is changing fast. The final thing, these are the three defining trends in America today in the business world. The third thing, though, is innovative new business models. If you ask the average sales manager, what's your business model? He'll say, there's only one business model. We buy a product, we mark it up, and we resell it. That's our business model. And that's okay. There's many, many people that think that way, and it's fairly common. But now, that's changing. There are different ways to create value, right? Different ways to attract customers, serve them, sell them some more, then come back, sell their people that they're part of, their group. You know, sometimes you get resellers, people that are interested and say, hey, I love your stuff. Referrals turning into a whole business on itself. It's a very interesting thing. Just about many, many workers have their 8-to-5 job. They like their work and so on, but they'll have a little side gig too, right? This is all part of the new kind of this new era, post-pandemic, as we think about business going forward. Now, a key aspect, this is what I'm here to talk to you about, this new kind of business innovation model, shall we say, the way that business can and is increasingly being done. And it comes back to this word, we all learned it when we were sophomores in high school, I think, or juniors, whatever it was, and we learned about ecosystems at that time. Ecosystems, of course, at that point were like gardens or rainforests and the trees, and then the worms, and then the birds eat that, and everything is interdependent, right? All the animals and nature are all kind of dependent on helping each other survive and grow and prosper. And by the way, give birth to new species occasionally. So it's a wonderful metaphor for what's happening now, where companies are becoming members of ecosystems, right? So there could be a business in North Platte, another one up in Wayne, right? Maybe in Fremont, and then down in South Omaha. And they're all members of an ecosystem. They can all get ready access to each other, talk to each other, and they've made a serious pledge to help each other succeed, right? So they'll say, well, you know, we're doing this, but we thought maybe you might know this, and you might have something about that. We could maybe work together on this, and serve a different market segment. What do you think? Right? It's an amazing, you'd say, hey, I got to expand into Ogallala, right? And Broken Bow. I kind of get some customers out there. No problem, because if we have members in the ecosystem, or if you have members in the ecosystem that you're a part of, right, you can quickly call those members, and they're obligated to help you out, introduce you to people, make qualified referrals, and so on. This is a big deal. This is a great way to get feedback, accelerate the sales development process, and really start new products, start new divisions of your company. The resources are there. The people are there. You just simply have to connect with them. And of course, the organizers of an ecosystem, a business ecosystem, have to kind of set up the framework for dialogue and so on. It doesn't happen accidentally. But business ecosystems are redefining America, redefining businesses. And here in Nebraska, as you may or may not know, there is a brand new business ecosystem, one of a kind, never been done before, called Nebraska, right? Nebraska is a business ecosystem that not only accelerates collaboration between its members, but also provides marketing tools and public relation tools. They have a magazine that they publish, articles about you, right? Or its members, right? And the trends that shape and define the marketplace that you serve. So it's a very, I think, and I'm going to say I think, I don't think there's any other economic development organization throughout the state of, or the country of U.S., in America, that is private now, not federally funded, not a government entity, so to speak, but private business owners who are coming together and forming their own online community, built around this ecosystem, the values in common, sharing, collaboration, and so on. Nebraska is doing it right here in the state of Nebraska. Very interesting, something you should keep your eye on, or maybe even check them out at nebraska.com, so you can really take a close look at what a business ecosystem really looks like when the private sector, entrepreneurs, business owners come together and form this whole thing to revitalize the state, right? To create value for each and every individual member, right? As well as help them with outreach, marketing tools, videos, podcasts, etc. My name is Lynn Hinderaker right here on WowBiz Nebraska. It's a pleasure to introduce this new idea, this new concept to you. I hope that you'll take it seriously. Look out for business ecosystems. Check out Nebraska if and when it's possible to do that, and refer people to it. And remember that every time you interact with somebody else that's a member of an ecosystem, there is a learning process going on, a very interesting opportunity for everybody. Now, next show we do here in WowBiz Nebraska, Bruce Arent will be here. We'll have a good time. We always love to talk seriously, and we josh a lot. We talk about trends, we talk about strategies, we talk about the evolution of the state, what's going on, and a lot of good things are happening right now. So make sure that you are poised to get going, take advantage of this particular program, ride the way forward, go big, right here in WowBiz Nebraska. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.